Hi, I'm Manju. Welcome to Sharing Cooking Secrets. Today I'm going to show you how to make an eggless pineapple cake. So I have a vanilla sponge ready and I'm going to cut it into 3 slices. You can cut it into 2 if you want. It's entirely up to you. Okay? So as usual, I like to put my hand on top of the cake to hold it firmly, and I've got a sharp bread knife and I'm going to make kind of 2 cuts, and I have to do it from here. So I don't know if you can see the 2 lines here. Right? Now I'm going to put my knife in, and holding this tight, I'm just going to go right around the cake, going in and out, in and out. So once you get to the place where you started from, push your knife in more, further in, and keep your knife upwards and go right to the middle and do the same thing, but go in and out, in and out, in and out. All right, and then go across. Take the first out. Now it's easy, you just have to cut this in half. Don't worry if it's, a little bit, if the proportion is a little bit bigger or smaller, it's okay. Won't make a world of difference. You're beginners, so, practice will make perfect. The thing is, you need to practice, that's all. So I have some sugar syrup here, and I'm just going to coat my sponge with the sugar syrup. Make sure you do it uniformly and at the edges. Now when you're making a pineapple cake like this, it's very important to get all your ingredients, your instruments, everything ready before you start. Otherwise, you'll get unnecessarily harassed. So now after the sugar syrup, I'm going to put a layer of cream. Now I like to put my cream in an icing bag. You can use a nozzle, you don't have to use the nozzle. I find this for beginners really easy. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just go round and round and pipe the cream on the sponge. How easy was that? Yeah. Now I'm going to add the chopped pineapples, and these are canned pineapples. You can use fresh, and I've just chopped them. So I always say, don't be stingy with your cherries and your pineapples. Just imagine you should be able to get a nice amount of pineapples in each slice. Then I have my chopped cherries, and these are tin cherries. Very easily available. Now you can leave this like this, or if you want, this is my special touch. I just like to add a little bit of white chocolate. This is purely optional. If you don't have white chocolate, leave it. So the next layer goes on top. Right? Just bend down. I'm going to push it a little bit. And again, we will soak the cake. Sometimes when you're doing this, you might forget to soak one layer. It doesn't matter. Don't tell anyone, and carry on. It doesn't matter. It happens. Do the edges well. Okay? And then you just repeat the same thing. So easy. Pineapples. Put the pineapples first, the cherries first, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever comes in your hand. It's okay. That's good. Cherries. If you don't like cherries, you can leave it out. I always say make whatever your family likes, what you like, whoever you're making the cake for likes. You can tweak the recipe according to your taste. And our shavings. Now the final layer. Soak it. So now we'll just give a crumb coat to this cake and then we'll cover it with cream. As usual, I like to do my crumb coat in this way. I just find it easy. Just cover the sides. You don't have to worry about neatness here right now. The crumb coat helps the crumbs stick to the cake. So when you do your final finishing, you won't get crumbs and cream mixed together. Can you see now the crumbs and the creams all mixed together? But right now it doesn't matter because it's the crumb coat. So once you've done this, put this in the fridge for about 15-20 minutes so the crumbs get really nicely stuck to the cream. And then we'll do the final coating. If you don't like too much cream, or if you're making it for someone who doesn't like too much cream, then leave it like this, give it the naked look, it's fine. And if you want to cover it nicely, then again I'm just going to pipe some cream on the side and give it a nice clean finish. So I have a jug of hot water. Now I've dipped my palette knife into this. It just makes it easier to handle the cream. Now you have to do this bit by bit. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Go down to eye level and then you can see where there's too much cream. If it's not uniform, you can make it uniform like this. And I've got a comb here, which I'm just going to make a design on the side. This will all get covered up, so don't worry too much about this. Now I've got some cream here. And I always like to do this in the correct way. So I like to start at 12 o'clock and I'm just going to make a drop. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then just do 2 in the center. Okay? Now we have our pineapples. Cherries. Now I'm going to show you how to make a really simple pineapple rose. So I have this strip of butter paper, and all you need to do is just measure the height of your cake, right? And I like to keep it a little higher, and the circumference just measure it approximately. Just keep it 2 inches longer than what it actually is. Now I'll just put this on my table. I have some white chocolate here melted, and you can see my previous videos on how to melt chocolate. Now all I'm going to do is just pipe it. The gap shouldn't be too much, so just go over once more, and now go in the opposite direction so you get a crisscross design. Remember, the chocolate has to be room temperature, shouldn't be too hot. Few minutes to let it just semi-set, and keep your cake in front of you and start from the back. Now we've got to put this in the freezer for about 5 minutes. If you don't have space to put this in the freezer, then keep it in the fridge for about 15 minutes. Just going to cut the extra part carefully off. And in the freezer it goes. So it's come out of the fridge, and this is where we have cut it from, the paper. We have cut it from here. So just gently, just remove the paper like this. It's just so easy. First time you do it slowly. Isn't that beautiful? And when you're making the collars, you don't have to worry about the finishing of the sides. You can just, do it roughly. It doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to finish off the cake by putting a border. If you're uncomfortable about doing this sort of piping, you can even just do stars. Just do small stars all over at the bottom. Even this looks very nice, so don't worry. If you can't do this, do something like this. And there, it's done. Now before you cut this cake, you need to put it in the fridge for about half an hour to 1 hour, so it sets beautifully, and then you'll be able to cut it nicely. If you cut it now, it might just collapse, okay? So always put it in the fridge for about half an hour to 1 hour, then cut it, okay?